Hey guys, it's Brad Campbell, CIT 336. This is my week 4 teaching presentation. The topics I've chosen to teach about are PHP include statement and the header functions. The include statement takes all the text, code, and HTML markup in a file and places it into the file that uses the PHP include statement. The include statement on failure will produce a warning, but the file will continue to run. Including files saves the web programmer a lot of work. This means that we can create standard header, footer, or menu files for all of our web pages. Including files is very useful for each of us because if we want to include the same PHP, HTML, or text on multiple pages of a website, it's going to save us a lot of time when it comes to coding that website. The syntax is pretty simple. It's an include, and then within the apostrophes you have the file name ended with a semicolon. The first example I want to talk about is assume we have a standard footer file called footer.php that looks like this. The file is at the top and we've included the footer statement or the footer file name right here in the include statement inside the HTML. We're going to run this example and it's going to bring up the W3 schools where it's actually ran that for us and it's actually included that footer file for us in the HTML or web page. The second one we're going to talk about is a menu file called menu.php. As you can see, we have the menu file. It's right here. And we've included the include statement right here for the menu.php. We're going to run the example. And it's actually included the menu file here at the top for us using the PHP include statement inside the HTML. Going on to the header function. The header function sends HTTP response headers. Nothing more and nothing less. The syntax is header. Inside the parentheses we have the string, which is required. We have the replace, which is optional. Then you have the HTTP response code. Our first example that we'll go to, is redirecting with the location header. As you can see here, we have the header function. And we're going to redirect it to bradonline.net/weather-franklin.html. I'm actually going to go to NetBeans. We're going to open it up and we're going to run this file. As you can see here, it redirected us to that web page that we wanted to go to with the PHP header function. Going back to the PowerPoint, we're going to go to example number 2. It says perhaps you'd like to prompt the user to download the file rather than viewing it in a browser. With the help of the content disposition header, it's easy to do, and you can even suggest a file name for the user to use. As you can see, we have the header function. In our example right here, we have the disposition, content disposition, we have the attachment. It's a plain text file. We're going to go back to NetBeans. We're going to run this file. I'm going to hit run. It's going to bring up Chrome, but we're not actually doing anything inside of Chrome, but we are we are downloading a file. So we're going to run the file. As you see, it brought up Chrome, but we're going to go to Finder and actually in Documents, this is the file that it downloaded. I had it cleared out beforehand. So this is the plain text file. I'm going to minimize that. In our last example, it says the refresh redirects users like the location header does, but you can add a delay before the user is redirected. For example, the following code would redirect the user to a new page after displaying the current one for 10 seconds. So here we have the header function. It says refresh is 10. It gives us the URL that we're going to go to, just like we did in the location header. And it says you will be redirected in 10 seconds with the echo call. So I'm going to go back to NetBeans and we're going to run this file. This time we're going to pull up Chrome again. Actually, I'm going to cut that out. We're going to switch to it and we're going to run the file. Sorry about that. So in 10 seconds, it's going to call up the web page that we wanted to do with the location header inside of that redirect. And there you have it. Going back to the PHP header presentation, it says, remember that the header must be called before any actual output is sent, either by normal HTML tags, blank lines in a file, or from PHP. The last slide here includes the sources for my teaching presentation. I encourage each of you to go there and kind of study what I did about these two topics. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them on the discussion board. I'll do my best to answer them. I look forward to hearing from each of you, and also seeing the other teaching presentations for this week. Take care.